Is Obaseki your godfather?
Let me first start with, no one person can sing.
Hello viewers, welcome to this segment of Chris Osa Meeting Personalities. With me today is Dr. Asue Ighodalo. He is the governorship candidate from the People's Democratic Party in Edo State as concerns Edo 2024 gubernatorial election. Good to have you on this platform, sir.
Sir, how are you? Good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, sir, let's just go straight to the question, not to bore you with so many talk, there seems to be a misconception.
You can bore.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
There seems to be a misconception among the public. Many have argued that are not for Ewohimi, that you are only laying claim to Ewohimi for political purposes. People are saying that you've never been to Ewohimi until recently that started nurturing your governorship ambitions. We also have on social media a lot of speculations that if you claim to be from Ewohimi, how have we contributed to the development of the place? Especially now that we have some clips, about electricity in Ewohimi. Some have said you have been there, considering the fact that you are chairman of many breweries and Nigerian breweries. Then you're chairman of Stanley Bank also. So these people are short from electricity act. I don't know, how do you respond to these speculations concerning this?
Thank you very much, Osas. Thank you. And thank you, viewers are online that are joining this program today. How does a man re-emphasize and reaffirm his birthplace and his birthright? How? My father, Jeremiah Asue Ighodalo, from Nigeria in Ewohimi, East and Southeast today. My father was the first Ewohimi indigene to go through secondary school and go through higher education, university, and became chartered accountants in this country. In 1978, my father actually contested for the for governorship candidates, running at the primaries with Ambrose Saline and a number of other people. My mother, as a civil servant in the Western region, when Midwestern region was part of Western region, was instrumental to ensuring that at least we have one of the most efficient primary schools in Ewohimi at the time. So, and I've had relatives, my uncle J. Ighodalo, my different uncles, who've been instrumental in the life of the people of Ewohimi. My first recollection of visiting my grandfather in Ewohimi probably about mid-60s. I used to come to Ewohimi with both my parents very often, particularly at Christmas, at Easter, I have a house in Ewohimi built in 2007.
So
2007. My father is buried there. My father died in 2012, and he goes to my house. It's not where you get into deer, ask them where my house is. Anybody, tell them house down, they'll show you and see my father's grave.
you should be aware that they don't be relaxed.
So it's just, I'm going to come back to that. That's part of what you're asking.
Yeah.
And we have land around the house there for my brother and my sister, anybody, so we come, we play, we have relatives, we have cousins, it's part of our growing up. Ewohimi is part of our growing up. I hear you talk about lights, the thing is this. I didn't think, or I didn't have political ambition.
Okay.
And the way we were brought up, we don't laud what we do. We go about doing our business, and we think that when we need to help, we make ourselves available to help our people. And we don't make noise about it. We don't go on the pages of newspapers. We don't advertise. We don't make noise about it. And I'll give you one example at this lights issue. You've been to Ewohimi before. You see electricity poles there.
Yeah, I did.
You saw electricity poles. Okay. You saw some cables. You saw step-down transformers. Okay? You did. So, but you saw electricity poles.
Yeah.
Next time you go, and I probably invite you when next time going, but I'll ask one of my guys to go with you. And you'll see all of the electricity installations there. the first time light came to Ewohimi in a commercial way, in a full-fledged commercial way, was probably 2001. 2001. In 1999, Chief Bola Ige was appointed Minister of Power and Steel in the Obasanjo administration. And he and I had a close relationship from our Nadeco days, but I'd even known him before. I knew him in Ibadan. We were close. He was close friends with my parents, particularly my mother. And I went up to him and I said, Uncle, whilst you're Minister of Power, we must have lights in Ewohimi. Because I was doing some work on the electric power sector reform implementation committee, the federal government appointed me to that committee chaired by Chief Ige as the Minister of Power. So I went to him and I said, we must have power in Ewohimi. And he said, fine. There are a few things we discussed. And he laughed at me and he said, you're putting Ewohimi, the petitions they write on these issues are so. So I said, Uncle, I'm not interested in claiming glory on this. All I just want for us to have light. So can you put it under the rural electrification scheme? And he started that, and Dr. Segun Agbamuki took over from him as Minister of Continued and Project. So the first time light came to Ewohimi was under that rural electrification scheme. I think the pressure I put on both of them. But I asked both of them to promise me not to speak about it. But Chief Bola Ige ran into my father somewhere and told my father. And my father came in one day. I said, you're doing all of this. You didn't say, we must let the people know. And I said, so I begged my father. I said, no. What I want is, let's do this thing. Let it go. But my father told the Onoji at the time. So light came in, and I think for a couple of years, it was consistent, Then we started having problems of vandalization of the cables and vandalization of the transformers. There's a Ewohimi committee that's a standing committee that every time we have a problem with the light installations, they ask us as a community and as a people to contribute, donate money so they can reinstall. I personally, by myself, at least 5 to 6, more than 6 times, have by myself done the rehabilitation of the vandalized cables and things. But because I didn't shout that I'm the one doing it, probably some of the people you are speaking to don't know. They just know that there were cables.
But and they're like measures put in place to stop this vandalization.
And I'll tell you another story. One of the things is that there needs to be some social responsibility amongst us. It wasn't just power cables and power installations that were vandalized. Even our waterworks was vandalized. We don't really have consistent water, and because of that, we sunk a borehole, commercial borehole. We don't have consistent water. Why? We have waterworks. The waterworks have been there since the 60s, but it was rehabilitated. It started working, and after a while, it got vandalized again. There needs to be social responsibility amongst our people. One of the things I couldn't really understand is how did people come and take down infrastructure that was generating water for us.
Dr. Ighodalo, I mean, try to correctly, the point like that. No, we're able to assist.
My point is that I've been an instrument, I've been contributory to the development of white people. Without attracting attention to myself or shouting about it. I just talked to you about the borehole. I don't want to tell you how many people I have sponsored in school, my family, my brother, myself, my sister, scholarships for granted. It's unnecessary. What we're interested in is trying to help our folks, love for our people, help our folk. It's not making noise to attract attention to yourself. The first microcredit establishment in Ewohimi was set up by Chief Agwele, my brother, and myself. We capitalized it, and it worked for a few years, and then for some reason, the chief executive went rogue. I'll give you another example. I set up a 25 million naira credit scheme for women in Ewohimi. I didn't make noise about it. As chairman of Sterling matched by 25 with another 25. So women, once you identify and show that you need some business and you need help to upscale your business, they're entitled to the loan. I mean, there was
beneficiaries are still alive.
Beneficiaries are there. But you know what happens? All of a sudden, many of the women, for some reason, didn't take the loan. I don't know why. So what we've done is that we've now extended it to the full local government. So the whole of the Eastern Southeast local government, working with the vice chair, who's a lady, and the guys at Sterling Bank. So you can talk to Susan Otekwe, who is the vice chair. Otekwe, yeah, she's the vice chairman, so you can have a conversation with her. So we extended it so that people can access those, not people, women. Because I thought, let me work with women. Because women, the soul of the family, they will work, they will return the money so that other people can benefit the money. And periodically, I used to go to the village and I used to have this 50,000 naira gifts to market women I used to do. But I thought I wasn't seeing the economic benefit of it, and I wasn't quite sure whether they were using it for their business. So that's why I set up this loan scheme. And I was giving out the interest of about 2%, primarily because in working with the bank said, you need to let these people have a bit of skin in the game. If you give it for free, the way you've been doing, people don't really appreciate that kind of support. So I'm just saying that over time, boreholes, scholarships, things.
Okay,
and I don't need to shout so that I'm the one doing it.
I'm happy that the beneficiaries of this step right, so you know around the way me brilliant. So I think maybe cool. They try to get 1 or 2 persons.
I didn't get more than 1 or 2. I get many, So what I will do is I'll arrange with some of my guys on the ground floor to.
Okay, away from your community, away now. Let's go political into, if you go to the street of Benin, because right now I'm literally all about godfatherism. Now, if any people are tired of godfatherism, and if you see what we're saying on social media, you as a person, based on your Obaseki, that's gone off for those children, Obaseki, some person actually single-handedly picked you for the ticket of the PDP. Now I want to ask you, is Obaseki your godfather?
Let me first start with, no one person can single-handedly pick any person for this kind of office. Since I came into this process, late October last year, I'm not sure anybody has worked as hard as I have worked to go through the 18 local governments and the one next to what the state, to meet people, to introduce myself to people, to talk to people about Asue Ighodalo, why Asue Ighodalo wants to come into politics, why he wants to run for office, what he will do for the people of Edo State, big as anybody. From October till the primaries in February, I had the stats. I traveled the length and breadth of the state and CD. So there's no one person, no matter how powerful they think they are, you must get the support of the political class for the primaries, and you must get the support of the people. No one person has that power in our country, in our state, even in our communities. So I debunk that. So I debunk that one person has that, So when people keep talking about it, there's nothing. See, Governor Shomole, 8 years, who was his godfather? That's how guys started, Shomole first came. That somebody was his godfather. But if you look through the history of Shomole's 8 years, who was his godfather? Sincere. If you go back to Professor Osumbo's 18 months, who truly was his godfather? If you go to Lucky Binadian's 8 years, apart from his natural father, who was his godfather? The point I'm trying to make, and you look at Governor Obaseki's 8 years, who was his godfather? People started off saying that Governor Shomole was his godfather. How? If you see the trajectory of what then transpired. When you come into public office, it's difficult for people to say that, or it's difficult when if you have ideas for your people, if you have ideas for your state, if you're focused on working for the people, it's difficult for you to be talking about godfather, because you will have idea and you will run your idea. This issue of godfatherism, see, there's a state where somebody anointed somebody, so to speak, on the face of it, is going to drag the person. What's happening in that state today? So this godfatherism thing, for me, it doesn't make sense. You know what makes sense? What makes sense is who is truly working for the best interest of the people of the state, who truly wants to work for the best interest of the people of the state. That's what it is. People said in 2007 or 2006 that President Obasanjo brought Yaradras. What transpired? The same people that were saying that by 2008, they said Yaradra President Obasanjo were not speaking.
So it means basically that have come at one slide, they already pretty big permanent, just the support of Governor Obaseki.
I worked my legs and my socks off. I was barely sleeping. Maybe I slept 3 hours a night. There was no part of Edo State I didn't traverse. I went from community to community, local government to local government, meeting party leaders, meeting people. Each of the 3 senatorial districts, I worked hard. I worked very hard. So when people lay claims for all these things, I said, okay, I guess, in politics, people would always try to write a narrative or change a narrative or dictate a narrative, whatever way they want, But I'm not going to be distracted and I'm not going to be daunted. I know my thinking for the good people of Edo State, and I will focus on my work for the good people of Edo State. If by God's grace and by the will of the good people of Edo State, I'm elected as governor, I will work as hard as I worked for myself and the private sector person, even other. Because now I have the ability to impact the lives of millions of people, and God will help me to impact those lives positively.
Yeah, we're gonna come to that fairly soon, but we're still on party matters right now. Because we see a lot of I don't know to call it division. I don't know if you agree, division in your party, People's Democratic Party. Though we have the legacy PDP, where we have the likes of Shiftam, Obi, we have already a man from already that we start. We have just recently the embattled the former deputy governor of Edo State, the Philip Shine, who has now aligned with the legacy PDP. You would think with all these divisions, you see yourself coming out victorious in September 21st governorship election.
In every family, there's no family where sometimes there are no disputes, people don't disagree. There's no family. Husband and wife, father and mother, kids and parents, there's no family. So yes, that means that in the PDP, there's certain areas of some disputes. But I remain focused on the fact that the People's Democratic Party wants and will continue working for the people of Edo State regardless those disputes. And we're working hard to unite the party and resolve those disputes. And sometimes, there's a lot more noise than reality. And people think there's more discordance than truth, and it's not so. But people are working behind the scenes, people are working every day so as to rebalance areas of disagreement or areas of disaffection. And I'm quite confident that the closer we get to elections, the closer the party will align. I'm quite confident.
All right, sir. Away from politics, I think if you were to give me some good answer those questions.
Thank you. Thank you that I think my answers are good.
Something about development.
Yes, sir.
Wanting to go to development for those states, which seem to have as a core interest. Governor Obaseki have been government for plus 8 years now. Again, November dropping the hat in government. You would think he has done. Is there some areas that I think Governor Obaseki has not done with kind approval?
But there's no human being that's perfect.
Okay.
No matter how great the person is, there's no human being that's perfect. I really believe that Governor Obaseki has worked very hard for the people of Edo State. I truly believe that he has laid very strong foundation in many fundamental areas. What I think is the job of a succeeding government is to look at the good things that the previous government did and to continue working on those good things. Those that can be improved upon, improve on them. The things that maybe that government didn't pay attention to, because every government has a revenue that's not totally inelastic. So you must prioritize. So there are things this government may not have prioritized, and if you can develop a capital base to work on those things, you may prioritize them. It depends on your own projects and your vision and your policy and your plans. Okay? But definitely, those things that have worked well, that are working well, I'll give you a couple of examples. Education, civil service reform, digital reform, digital penetration into the states. The many things that have worked well. Industrial areas, the palm revolution, the rubber revolution, the industrial revolution. If you go through the bypass, the Kubalka, all those places, it's so there are good things that have been done. Revenue generation has increased substantially. School of nursing, you've been there. School of agriculture, you've been there. There are things that have been well done. So these things you must improve on them. So as part of catapulting the states into the first world, things that you may not have been prioritized that also may align to help catapult the states, then you have to find the resources to do those things. One government or one person or one team cannot by themselves achieve everything. That's why it goes through circles, So one governor is done in the 8 years, another governor that then comes to take over must be responsible to retain all of the good great things and then add. So that the person taking over from that person also, by the time you've done 2 or 3 cycles like that, you moved that sub-sovereign into the first world. So that's my thinking. And that's how, by God's grace, we will work.
Before we go to for your finance, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is Governor Obaseki said and Joshua?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I probably will score Governor Obaseki 7.5, 8. On the things he focused on, which were going to developmental things for the states. I'll score him extremely high. I tell people this, maybe they were not strong on communications, in the sense that those things they've done and done very well, they didn't make noise about it. And I can identify it. Because I was just telling you about some things I've done in Ewohimi and some barons that there's no point. I was planning that I was going to run for political office in year X. Maybe I started making noise about those things. There are many things my family has done in Ewohimi. Nobody knows we did them because it wasn't important to talk about doing that. The important thing is for them to be done. I've built my relationship in government over the years, the same way I use it for electricity with Chifige, to move governors to pass some roads, to move governors to do some projects there. But I'm not going to come on Endo Broadcasting Service and say, hey guys, look at me. I won't. That's not how I was brought up. That's not how we were brought up. If you are doing something for the benefit and the good of the people, you will identify with it and focus it and make sure it's done for the benefit and the good of the people. Regardless accolades.
Okay, since you're also part of this government affair, because I have some do I say you were part of the government of this government.
No. So let me set this straight. I'm chairman of Ighodalo. Ighodalo is not part of the government. Ighodalo is an independent advisory body that was registered and set up by private sector players to interface with this government, discuss policy issues with them, have policy exchanges, and sometimes agree to disagree, which we often do. Okay? But once a year, we used to organize a summit whereby we showcase what's been done and suggest what we think should be done additionally to improve the economy and the social welfare of the state. So but it's a private sector engineered structure. It's called the Ighodalo. Yeah.
You are not the economic advisor.
No. It's during Governor Oshomole's tenure. Yeah. The structure was different.
Okay.
We had an economic team where Governor Obaseki today was the chairman of that economic team. So I was a member of that economic team. So it consisted of private sector players and a few government officials, so that was an economic team, an economic advisory team to Governor Shomole. Governor Obaseki was different. He didn't have an economic advisory team in that format, but he had this economic Ighodalo private sector led. Our own role was to maybe once a quarter, we'll come and sit with him and some of his advisors and commissioners and just talk policy. What are you guys doing? Why? And then exchange ideas, give views about what we think should be done. And then that's it. Then in November each year, we used to organize the summits, the Ewohimi Summit, which I just explained. So that was our role. So which was different from Governor Shomolu's economic team.
Thank you so much for your time. Okay, we've had Dr. Asue Ighodalo with us on our platform, and he's been talking and trying to narrate what he intends to do for the Edo people and also clarify some issues.
Actually, I haven't talked about what I said for the Edo people. You asked me political other questions. So maybe our next session, I'll then break down for you how I intend to move Edo State from where we are today into the first world, which is, by God's grace, my role and my goal. And that's why I have set forth and volunteered myself for this office. By God's grace, we'll move Edo State from where we are today truly into the first world. It's been done in other countries, and we can do it, where a sovereign outstrips the sovereign. And we have a plan. And luckily and good for us, Governor Obaseki is ending his term with a 30-year development plan. We will look at that plan and we'll inculcate the plan, at least the strong aspects of the plan. Luckily for us also, it's a plan that the governor, from what I read and what I have seen, has worked with the people of the state. I gather that he went around to the 18 local governments of the state to sensitize the people about the ideas for the plan. For us, by God's grace, if we get into office, an addition, if it's not there, that we'll put in the plan, would be with the 3 senatorial districts, we would have economic development agencies so as to get comparative advantage of each district, what's best in this district for an economic trigger of that district, of the senatorial district. So we'll inculcate, if it's not in the plan already, we'll inculcate that into the plan so that we can have a well-balanced Edo State. We're clear in our minds that if we get Edo State right, which is the heartbeat of this country, we'll get Nigeria right. And there's so many things that can come out of this: tourism, our port, being a logistics hub by itself. There's so many things we can drum up to move Edo State's economy and social welfare rapidly.
Thank you so much.
So I'm coming back.
Dr. Asue.
So I'm coming back to come and talk economics and social welfare and the benefits that we'll have for our people. I'm coming back. We've come into campaign season now, and all I just want to say to the good people of Edo State is that I'm offering myself to work tirelessly for the people of Edo State, to work day and night, 27 hours a week and 4 hours a day, so we can move Edo State from where we are into the first world. And it's doable, because we have the capabilities, we have the people, we have the diaspora strength, and we must never ever forget our diaspora strength. The remittances from the diaspora, the intellectual and capability support, it's immense. And then we have the soil, and then we have the natural resources, and we have the people, and we have tourism, we have our cultural heritage, we have our Oba. If in the UK they can earn $3 billion from tourism because of Buckingham Palace and the Royal House, I know that our Oba here in Benin and our strong cultural heritage, because our Oba is probably the fully true traditional ruler that's strong and that people respect tremendously through Nigeria, through Africa, by him, through tourism. I don't say this is where we can earn $500 million. I don't see any reason whatsoever, the Igwe Festival and all the activities of the Oba. And if we then take it down into the Otari Hauchin, Hauchinde, and there's so many other of our traditional rulers that have all these ceremonies with society. I see immense potentialities in this state. Immense. From tourism alone. Just tourism. If from the Oba, by God's grace, in Benin here, cultural heritage, you can drum up $500 million, and I can ramp up the figures for you, how it will happen. I don't know why through the state we cannot get to $1 million. We cannot get to $1 million. It's readily and very easy. I don't see why not. So there are plans, there are projects, there are ideas, and there are people. All we just need to do is to stay focused and keep our eyes on the ball, and stay strong and love our people. Once leadership loves its people, then 3/4 of the problem is solved. And that's what we bring to the table. The experiences I've had over the last 30-odd years, I'll bring it here. I've done a lot in my private life, for private institutions, why cannot I bring all of that experience and benefit for the good of my people?
Dr. Asue Ighodalo, thank you very much for sharing us social media. Real big, we appreciate you coming.
All right, thank you for inviting me to social media.
It's a wrap. We'll be with Dr. Asue Ighodalo, the PDP governorship candidate for the Edo 2024 gubernatorial election. He said a lot. So please kindly share this broadcast. Thank you and God bless. My name is Chris Osa Ayime Unwangu, and this is Chris Osa Media.